Behind me is all that's left of the community, or I guess the old community of Monte Ne, Arkansas. There's still a community here, small community of people on the lake, and it's actually called a Beaver Lake. And but kind of an interesting story of what this old structure is behind me and why it's now abandoned. The long version of what happened here in Monte Ne, and then the short version. I'm going to give you maybe somewhere in the middle, because I know you want to see this hotel. Was actually what that building is, a hotel. And there's a lot of information about the history of this area. I'm going to put a link in the description if you want to really dive into it. I don't want to just stand here and regurgitate minute after minute after minute of the history. But this had several names, this area. There was a distillery, there was a grist mill in the early to mid 1800s. And it went through a variety of names based on kind of the people that lived here. An ambitious community. This was a health resort from right around the turn of the century, around 1900 until about 1930. And it was a planned community. It was a very ambitiously planned community. It was going to be much bigger. The lake was not like this. The lake was built in 1964, so there was certainly water here, but nothing like it looks like today. Was a financial theorist, so he had ideas of how to do a lot of things, and he even became heavily involved in politics. He was a candidate to be president of the United States at one time, and he brought the only ever presidential convention to Arkansas, and it was held right here, which is pretty amazing to think about. Two of the hotels that were built in this community, one was called Missouri Row, one was called Oklahoma Row, and the one that's standing here, that's part of the Oklahoma Row, it was very unique in that it's one of the earliest examples of a multi-story concrete structure. It also had the first indoor swimming pool in the state of Arkansas. So very kind of groundbreaking, some of the things that were built here. And even though Harvey was a financial theorist, as it says online, he wasn't very good at managing money. And so a lot of his ideas, a lot of the ideas for Monte Ne never were able to come to fruition and ended up going bankrupt. And then he died in 1936. And so that was not too long after, Monte Ne was a community. And then they eventually sold this land off little by little in lots. And then kind of what was remaining of the town was submerged when Beaver Lake was created. So you see this part that is here above water, but there's actually, when the lake goes down, you can see kind of ruins of other structures that were here. Can't really see much today. I can go down by the water and you can see a few things down there, kind of right under the water. But I guess when it goes really low, you can see foundations of buildings. I'll throw in some pictures here as I'm talking. And so that's kind of a cool, kind of like a Atlantis of Arkansas, you could call it. I think one restaurant in town as I drove through and saw. So there's definitely people here. Yeah, let's go over here and check out the one remaining structure here left in Monte Ne, Arkansas. If you actually keep walking just a little bit farther, kind of around the lake, kind of near where the boat ramp is, there's a little bit more to see.